Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Helios Division, Day 7. I'm once again found, and I'm here with Civilock for Terracotta Gaming versus SEAL Team. Chris, how you doing today, man?
It's all right. Pretty tired. Had a long day at work. Preschooler pulled the fire alarm on their first day of school, but I'm really glad to be enjoying some League of Legends. Um,
Preschooler pulled the fire alarm. I don't know how we're going
I
to
don't
just
know.
chirp at that. Like, that's not something that's
Yeah, I don't know how they can reach it, but hopefully there will be no alarms pulled during this game because we are here for the long haul. And I think Terracotta Gaming feels the same way with that kill lock-in. They are playing for the late game right off the bat from the beginning of the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. With having all of the bands coming out so quickly, it looks like both these teams came in very well prepared. Kale, interesting first pick. We haven't seen that in a long time. It's definitely showing a lot, but it is still a flex. It can go into the mid or the top side. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be the one who's going to be taking that.
Yeah, I'm impressed they just have the confidence to just cold lock kill. I mean, there are some pretty bad kill matchups out there. I don't know if Gooby plays them, but Aurelia notably is a terrible matchup. Kill just can't stop Aurelia from dashing around and interacting with her while she's weak. But yeah, we'll see how Terracotta chooses to protect this. I think the jungle matchup is going to be super important. If Terracotta Gaming does not have a strong early jungler who's either self-sufficient or can help support the Kale in the early game, the Kale can quickly become a liability and just end up feeding money over to SEAL Team Chris. That being said, maybe they know something about SEAL Team Chris that we don't. SEAL Team Chris is, new team. There's a lot of familiar faces on that team. However, we don't really know how this roster plays. So I'm very excited to see how that pans out. We do have the Jinx Leona locked in as the response to the kill, so no top lane counter pick yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Former BBZ support, also team organizer Chris Sungo is going to be heading back to the mid lane. Lightning Soul's returning after a long time. I believe she had quite a long hiatus where she wasn't playing at all. So this team definitely does have a lot of interesting faces all coming back. And with Burst Limit, who is the crazy psychopath, I'm sure he's going to have some great drafts now that he's moving into the coaching position.
Yeah, for sure. Having a lot more influence over the map from the mid lane. I'm really curious to see how Songo performs. Having played against him last season, love the guy. Super amazing. Nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah, he's
Give
typically
me a raise, Songo.
absolutely. Yeah, he's quite passive generally. I've seen him play mid lane a couple times. He doesn't tend to play super aggressively, but he does tend to farm well. So I wouldn't expect like a heavy roam style, more like trying to get small CS leads and try to be more of a team fighter. And that's exactly what SEAL Team Chris is drafting for. So that's most likely going to be their angle.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As we enter the second portion of the draft, a follow-up of the Thresh ban from SEAL Team Chris, they're going to ban out Blitzcrank, so they just really don't want to play against a pick composition. They're taking away Blitzcrank, they're taking away Thresh, they're taking away Caitlyn and Zoe, so they just don't want to see that single target CC in the game. We take a look at TG. I'm not really sure what the theme is. It's a lot of like kiting and defensive champs, so it looks like maybe Terracotta is afraid of like the front-to-back team fight, which is a little odd because they do have the Kale on their team, which should put them in a pretty good spot. I think they are going to be really happy if they get to play Kale and Desai on top. That is a great matchup.
Yeah, it is. It's one of Kale's most beneficial matchups. I expect Nautilus to be coming out as his last ban. It looks like they're going to choose to go for the Twisted Fate. Instead, that's really would pinch Antunes' champion pool. He's basically a hook champion player only, but they wanted to eliminate the roam heavily from TN getting his Twisted Fate. So I do like the strategy coming out so far. At least the composition from SEAL Team Chris is very coherent in what they want to do. Now, if they can get a strong mid laner that has a lot of AP damage, which is what Terracotta is going to be looking to ban out, they should be pretty solid. But this is also an option where you could even send like a Lulu or a Karma mid and get some more utility for this Jinx.
Yeah, really interesting ban direction. SEAL Team Chris has a very clear game plan here. They're taking a Twisted Fate. So once again, a fifth pick CC champion. And it's going to give Jinx a lot of space here. Sure, I guess there's Volibear Jhin, but that's not exactly super great backline access, and it's going to take a long time for Kale to come online. I think there's going to be a huge window in the mid game for Jinx Sign to really run away with the game. Terracotta choosing to take away these control mages from Songo. I think they're definitely keyed to the whole front-to-back teamfight strategy that they're seeing so far. It's going to be the Hecarim locked in for Steel Team Chris. Interesting. It's going to give them a lot more early options and ways to punish the kill early.
Yeah, Hecarim coming back in a little bit, very damage heavy, something that's going to be very proactive in the jungle. So I'm happy to see that being the selection. But giving a Chris last pick is going to be really vital here. I wonder what he's going to go for. It looks like the traditional AP mages have been banned out. So if he does want to fall back onto something, it's going to have to be like a Syndra or something of that avenue, which is less consistent with what their team camp has already been drafting. But with Shen being selected, we do know that Kale is most likely going to be headed into the mid lane, unless they're going to throw Shen down into the support role and try to go another option. But
yeah,
who knows what Antunes has in his bag of chips today?
Yeah, Shen support is on the table. I mean, it's probably not bad until Leona. If you're nuts, you can QW with the dodge field to negate Leona Q. So it's honestly not that bad for Shen. I mean, there is the world where it's kill mid. No, with the Nautilus locked in. So yeah, it's Shen top kill mid. Really interesting. I guess they want to send the kill into Songo. That's surprising me because I feel like Kale should be strong in a Sion, but maybe it's not in Shield Valor's champion pool.
Well, I know Nemesis really highlighted how strong Kale mid can be. Basically, she doesn't have any priority until about level 7 or 6, depending on the matchup, but generally she loses very hard early. But at least she does get her farm up, and she gets levels a lot faster, so she can hit her 16 power spike. And as soon as we say that there's something that's extremely good into low range champions, until Kale scales up, you have Lissandra, who has a bunch of CC and damage, and with all this follow up, and she's a reset champion. So another something else that synergizes with Jinx.
Yeah, honestly, like I know Seal Team Chris doesn't exactly have a record going into this, but I really like the Seal Team Chris draft here. They have a clear game plan. They have Engage. They have a bunch of meatballs in CC, and they have the Jinx. And Terracotta is not really showing a way to get on the Jinx. Like, I guess you're Shen ulting onto Volibear. Maybe get Nautilus flash ult to get the depth charge on the Jinx. But like these are not exactly like AoE teamfight tools. Like, sure, you can CC the Jinx one time, but then you have to walk through Lissandra ult and Hecarim and Sion and Leona. Like, I think on paper, Seal Team Chris really won the draft here.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's definitely going to be a close one. But we will find out right now as the game is getting ready to begin, and this is going to be our third matchup of the day. So quite a long day, one more in store. But let's see if Seal Team Chris is going to be able to collect up that first victory that they're still looking for, and not hit the 1-7 train you just yet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm kind of down to, like, you know, if you're a viewer in the chat, I'm kind of down to put channel points on Seal Team Chris. That's the Civlock sponsor prediction here. Vote with me for easy channel points, but you know, this is not constitute professional advice. I'd like to elaborate. Thank you for the reminder.
We are all obligated to say that this is not financial advice, and we are not allowed to disclose any of that. And that's going to be the hook landing onto Lightning Soul, getting a bunch of damage, and she's just going to be dropping the first blood. So an early start already, as Nautilus does pick up that first kill.
STC determined to sour my investments. Already giving away first blood. Who got that one? Okay, Nautilus.
Nautilus did.
That's honestly way less bad than it could have been. Like, Kale could have gotten that kill. So yeah, I mean, Seal Team Chris is not happy, but like, you know, it's all right. They commit flash, but you know, it happens.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse, but this is exactly why you don't get financial advice from League of Legends casters. So
I guess so.
With that kill going over, the pressure is going to be on to the side of the bot lane, as Antunes is going to have the flash advantage over Leona. And for the all-in at level 2, that's going to give Nautilus a big advantage, even though Leona is traditionally a counter pick into Nautilus just because of how much tankier she is.
Yeah, in the scrap, like just fighting to death, Leona can stay in the fight a lot longer. Nautilus doesn't really have a good defensive scared. He has the shield, but that really needs health scaling in order to be effective, whereas Leona's flat resist, super powerful early on. And Nautilus does do a lot of burst damage, so there is a world where Jhin and Nautilus can combo together, but Looks like Jinx will be able to stay pretty healthy before first back because she does have that long sword 3 pot. Hold that thought, that's level 2. Here we
Yep, that's
go.
gonna be the hook landing, and that's a bunch of damage. Lightning Souls is gonna be going down again, and
No
this time it's
flash.
gonna be to Jin. Actually, yep, there
Oh,
it is, and
the
the
Ignite
ignite's gonna
tick.
come through. So unfortunate that the, the Nautilus still had that summoner spell available, and Antunes is gonna pick up his second kill of the game.
STC making a rough start to this one. They do fail the math check. For viewers that do not play bottom lane, it is the third melee minion of the second minion wave that gives both members of the duo lane level 2. You know, level 2 all in is always really good, but when you have 2 players who are level 2 against 2 players who are level 1, you have 4 abilities to 2. That's pretty good. Makes you win.
Yeah, it is very effective. And for those who does not know, the same does apply for top and mid, except it is the first melee minion of the second wave that's going to give you level 2. So if you do have a champion who's very good at all-ins, I know Aurelia is a big one who does that. When she hits level 2, you can still utilize it. It's just less potent than it is in the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely very polarizing and brutal lane. You know, if you step in the wrong place bottom lane, it kills you. And Terracotta Gaming doing just that. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Songo actually down a bit of pressure against Kale, getting shoved in and down CS. This is a pretty good matchup for Lissandra, just not necessarily for the 1v1. Lissandra doesn't have the damage and the range to be really oppressive against Kale. But what's really scary is that if Lissandra's jungler is ever in the area, Claw into Root
Uh,
is... Oh,
Gooby's just
wait.
going to be taking a
Gooby?
bunch of damage, getting 3 pox onto the Shielded Vows auto
Oh,
Texas.
oh,
Now he's going to
no.
be slowed, and the taunt's going to be available. So this is just going to be the sign hitting the Death Chambers, and they're going to choose to give it over to Oriri. But yeah, that one was confusing.
Yeah, and the wave is pulling into Shen. So unfortunate for Gooby. Shield of Valor is going to have a great lane state, a great position to freeze, and Volbear's in the area to ward off the Heck Room. So overall, a great start for Terracotta. This is pretty much everything they could have hoped for.
Yeah, as Gooby's
Oh,
can teleport
Gooby.
in and then get a return gank from Oriri. So they do get the benefit of knowing where this Volibear is. He's been on this top side of the map for quite a long time, but with the wave pushing back out, as you said, it's going to be quite a bit of a struggle for him to stay safe. But it looks like they are going to be calling Wolf over to make sure that the lane can get in as safely as possible.
They get the Warden, but I actually really wish that Woof Woof had come top lane like the dog that he is to help his top laner crash this wave. It ends up being fine, but honestly, Volbear could have easily reganked. It actually doesn't matter if there's vision there because if you're threatening the dive, there's actually just no way to like stay safe. Like you're gonna attrition so much experience, even if you know the jungler's there. So I would have liked to see Wolfwood crash the way for him, and
Yep, and
because
here
that
is
doesn't
going to be the
happen,
taunt,
I
as this is also landing as
oh
the
bottom lane
camera is
though.
going to pan away, so we don't know what's going to happen, but we do know that Lightning Soul is going to be forced to flash out. But also, Gooby has also flashed in top lane, so 2 flashes used on the side of STC as they're still struggling in these lanes.
Oh, looking for
As Wolf
counterplay,
Wolf
Woof
is
Woof.
going to go for a gank, the Ghost has been popped, but no slow is landed. As Antunes is going to be the one who gets knocked back. The E is not going to land though, so he's going to be able to flash out quite safely.
Oh,
As
the
the hook is
turnaround.
going to land, the return gank and the 4 shot's going to just put Wolf Wolf into the ground. As woo, this is getting rough. As now the chase is on the next auto attack is going to be able to snare if Antunes can land it. The auto attacks are coming through, and Iron Tire is gonna get it. So, geez, a 2v3, 2 kills picked up by the spot lane as everything is going wrong.
That's so unfortunate. Already like 2,500 gold lead in favor of Terracotta, and they have the kill. It hasn't even hit level 6 yet. I think just now. Yeah, just now hitting level 6. This is going to be an uphill battle for STC. They need to stabilize. They need to accelerate Song and Woof Woof so they can actually engage. They need Jinx to come online, but they're fighting against champions that are so good at kiting now. There's so much CC. If they don't have the ability to force 5v5s and win, they don't really have a way back in this game. They need to make something happen soon.
Yeah, scaling is going to be very important into this game, but they have lost the lanes that they were not supposed to lose. Lissandra is down quite a bit of CS into this mid lane against Kale, who is going to be outscaling her, so that's not getting any easier. And with Jinx falling behind to Jin, Jin is one of those AD carries where if he gets too far ahead, he can easily just one-shot the squishy members of this team, which is going to be the Lissandra, the Lissandra and the Leona at this point, and then the Jinx also, so this is not getting any easier.
Yeah, I would love to see some kind of build from Jin, like, let's say, crit mythic into collector Lord Doms. That would be such a great build, like having that armor penetration profile. He's going to be really target agnostic and be happy hitting squishies or frontliners. And I think that's all they really need from Jin in this game. If Jin finishes eye edge, like the game's just over. So, like,
Yeah,
but honestly, with just 3 items, I think it's going to be really hard for them to answer this Jin. Not to mention Gale.
yeah, absolutely. The Irish Pyro Spike is one of the biggest ones for Jin, as Wolf is going to be spotted on awards. He does choose to go for this gank. This is something that's going to be known. Oriri is quite far away, but yeah, that's going to be just Tien walking out, wasting a little Wolf's time as he's continuing to not find an angle yet in the game.
I'm surprised they ended up playing it that way. I'm pretty sure Song has the flash R on there to get the glacial prison. Is glacial prison? No, frozen tomb onto Tien, but opting not to commit the flash, maybe expecting to get counter flash there. But I think if they layer the CC correctly, Kale cannot escape from Wolf's gank.
Yeah, the only thing unfortunate is that she does have the flash available plus her R. So if you do mistime it, and there is a small channel time on the Frozen Tomb, then it can just be R, and no damage is done to the Kale, and you wasted a lot of resources. So it definitely is going to be something that they're going to need to look into. Songo does have his teleport. He has been saving it for probably a bot turnaround play. That's the only angle I can expect them to be looking for. But they're going to have to do so into the Shen, which is going to make it quite difficult for them to actually pick up a kill on anyone. As there's going to be the flash, Songo is going to get the ultimate down, but there's no damage onto Tien just yet as the ultimate blocks everything. And he's just going to be able to walk out nice and easy.
Unfortunate combo there from Songo. I think what Songo actually needs to do is commit R first and try to bait out the Kale ultimate, playing slow, and save your burst for after the ultimate wears off. But it's hard to make that happen when you're trying to set up the gank. Tien,
that's going to be the hook. Beautiful one landed onto Gohan, but now the turn is there as Wolf did miss his E onto the minions. Iron Tire is taking very little damage, and that's going to be the Hecarim who's going to be forced to ult out. Now this is Lightning Soul who's going to be just all by her lonesome as she's taking the shots and is going to be the first one to drop. But nothing else is going to follow, but that is unfortunate, even though Gooby in the top lane did stop the Shielded Valor from teleporting down.
Lightning Soul, unfortunately, their soul meets an untimely demise. Gooby making the hero play, canceling that Stand United and keeping Shielded Valor on the top side. Otherwise, it'd be even bigger disaster than it was, but doesn't look like it's going to turn into much. Gooby even just getting chunked out after getting the cancel. Sure, you stop the Stand United, but now Shen's just going to happily stay here and eat more waves, continue bullying Sion. This matchup does not really get easier for Sion over time.
Yeah, Shen has a lot of percent health damage, a lot of scaling into tank matchups. As now Iron Tower is going to take a bunch of auto attacks damage. He's going to walk in, take another one, and that's going to be the rocket coming through. So Shutdown is going to come out for Gohan. As Antunes is being forced to walk away, he does still have the hook available if he wants to hook into the wall, but he is not going to find it necessary. As costly mistake from Iron Tower, giving over a Shutdown to the Jinx for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, like, it's probably not going to matter. Just I think they're just too far ahead. But honestly, like, Iron Tower dying there is the only way Terracotta can lose. Gohan gets the shutdown, getting fed in the game, just as their name would suggest. And now they're going to crash this wave, maybe and threaten to die if Nautilus Fortune gets back. Well, hopefully not, because we see Oriri in the area, but I think they're just going to step away.
Yeah, the ward is going to spot out Oriri before he's able to set this up. Unfortunately, a freeze is going to be had in this bot side because they were not able to push it in, and Antunes did intelligently force the freeze. As Gooby is getting a lot of pressure onto Shielded Valor, constant damage, and is maintaining a CS lead, but now Lightning Soul is caught out and is going to be forced to flash, so geez, this is a series of unfortunate events for STC.
Virgin second dragon and Lightning Soul still level 5. Doesn't have access to Leona ultimate. Really rough game for this Leona. Starting at that level 1. Leona is still going to be useful. You know, you have that CC if you can at least hit level 6, but going to be a lot squishier than normal, so she'll have to be a lot more cautious about the fights that she ends up taking, and not to mention, bottom lane is just so accelerated from all these kills.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 levels down, Antunes has that advantage onto Lightning Soul, and he will maintain it for quite a while. So Sport XP can be hard to come by, so falling behind this far early can be quite the struggle as the CS lead is not getting any advantage, but STC is going to choose to go for this dragon, and they are here first.
Oh,
Oh,
sign
that's going to be the
finding.
Scion R. That's not going to be landing onto anyone, but that Lightning Soul is cut off first, taking the bunch of damage. She's going to drop and be the first one, but Oriri is also taking a bunch from the autos of Gohan, who is trying to kite it out as best as he can, but he's going to be taunted up, and Sungo is going to drop. Antunes is going to pick it up, and the R is there, and Gohan's going to fall. Now you have Gooby, who's forced to flash out, but he will not make it, as that is Gooby picking... Oh, I'm sorry. Gooby dying, and Shielded Valor picking up another kill.
Shielded Valor. Okay, Shielded Valor avoids death with the Scion Ghost. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a 5-for-0 ace and the Dragon and the Riftfield Craft for plates by Terracotta Gaming. They're kind of walking away with the whole bank here in their backpack. And after this reset, they're going to be items up across the board. It's, what is it, 7,000 gold at the 12-minute mark? That's insane.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare for STC at this point. Honestly, this is around the time in solo queue will go next would be coming out, so something's gonna have to come out positive for STC. They do still have a lot of CC, but they haven't been able to layer it quite well onto anyone significantly. Plus, the kill alt does such a good job at preventing single target bursts, and that's all STC has. So, I'm not quite sure what their avenue is gonna be back into the game.
And Jin laughing all the way to the bank, finishes tier 2 boots and 2 longswords off of a single recall.
Gale Forces already come in. He's going up against a Jinx that has the Noon Quiver and a Crit Cloak. Like, that Kraken Slayer is not coming in for at least 3 or 4 more waves, so I don't know. It's not looking too good.
Yeah, this is really grim here for STC. Not gonna lie. I mean, if we're thinking about their way back into the game, because like this is really rough, and honestly, Terracotta kind of needs to throw to make this possible. But you know, that's definitely within the realm of possibility. This is FOF after all. If Jinx can just get a couple random lucky picks, if they find people with Frozen Tomb, if they find people with the Leon Ultimate, with Hecarim, there are a lot of shutdowns waiting to be collected.
Here they're gonna
especially on
look.
this
Tien's gonna
Nautilus.
get caught out, and that's gonna be her the flash being forced out. But that's gonna be Shen ults coming in. So now Sungo's gonna be the one who's in trouble. The taunt is not gonna land, but this Lissandra is finding herself right into the ground, and she's not gonna survive, and is gonna be the first one to die in just a moment. There we go. As Tien's gonna pick it up, and that's gonna be the next kill picked up by Shielded Valor. So every play is being turned around.
I mean, they try to get the pick, but they're trying to kill
Was
Kale.
Aruri really doing this? He's trying to solo kill Gooby? He's completely by himself. This is a straight up 1v1. There's no way Volibear could do this, and he's going to be forced to walk away any time now, but those extra autos is going to force Gooby back.
I think Ariri wins these because Volibear has so much healing. He's turning it around.
Yep, that's going to be the stun landing into the shield. A bunch of damage. Oriri does have the red buff, so that's going to force the ultimate out from Gooby. So, yeah, that fight was a lot closer when all the burst does come in, but not enough to finish off Gooby in the top lane.
Volibear starting that fight at lower health, much lower health, but with the power of that bite, Volibear can continue to heal and sustain through the fight and actually be effectively as tanky, if not tankier than Sion in that 1v1 interaction, forcing the Sion ultimate defensively, avoiding the kill, so overall it's okay, but they really want to keep all the aggressive offensive CC cooldowns that they have, because STC needs these teamfight ultimates in order to try and get a pick. Without it, there's no way they can take a real front-to-back teamfight.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very ultimate dependent, and honestly, it's their really only avenue in. And Gohan's going to need to put out a lot of work. He's the only one who's maintaining even KDA so far, not perishing too much.
Oh, no.
As Wolf is going to land, get knocked up into the jungle, and that's a dead horse who's going straight to the glue factory, as they have found a pick into the jungle, which is quite concerning because the objectives is going to be up, and they are going to get Rift Herald in this transition, and then follow up with a Cloud Dragon in a minute's time.
So unfortunate for Woof Woof. Just let the guy have his raptor camps. Come on, guy. Unfortunately, Woof Woof will have to wait for themselves and the raptors to respawn before he gets another try. Gooby, meanwhile, trying to hold down the fort, but Tien laying down the pain. This top tower is getting lower and lower. I think it's going to fall in the next wave.
Yeah, absolutely. And PETA does tell us that we need to feed our animals, and Woof Woof is providing the feeding. As going
It's a dog-eat-dog world, you know?
Right now, hasn't been able to find any avenue into the game so far. The mid tower is going to drop, and there's just been no reprieve for how much pressure Terracotta is getting out so far.
Yeah, it's just a relentless beatdown. This Kale is already level 12 at the 16-minute mark. Gets the solo turtle I 164 far in 17 minutes is, I mean, honestly, even if,
And there's the hook.
oh,
Lightning Soul is forced to flash out, and now the chase is on. How many people are going to die? The ultimate is not going to pick up Wolf on the side as he's going to get out safely. Gooby is going to be able to walk it out so
Gohan.
far as he is going to be
Oh,
taunted. The flash does come out from Gohan, and Gooby is going to be forced to flash as well. So a bunch of summoners spells burn, but no kills are achieved. But still, that's a free Cloud Drake that's going to be collected up.
like STC sent running for the hills. Songo going to eat up that top way to at least get some experience and economy back. But oh man, Songo doesn't even have mythic completion at 17 minutes. That's a rough one. It's a rough one. Oh, Shen.
Flash Taunt doesn't land onto Gohan's really close, but not. There's no cigar. You do not get points in this game for trying, so Gohan is going to make it out. Good attempt on the play. They probably could have picked it up with just Shielded Valor and Antunes onto Gohan, but yeah, he is going to make it out. But honestly, that's just a small victory so far.
It was a good idea, and it's a little bit of execution failure. And as my friend Utility Monster likes to say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So, and especially true of League of Legends, almost landing your skill shot, unfortunately, is also called missing. But
I mean, unless you're playing Zoe and it's a sleeper Telegram.
Oh, yeah, true.
Here's comes the talked about as Wolf is going to be forced to dash away. A bunch of damage coming out, and that is going to be the Ghost Burn. So this hacker is not going to have that tool coming up. Is once again going to miss as Gohan either has the fanciest feet or Shield Valor. His hands are broken, one or the other. But he's continuing to live.
Yeah, Gohan's just turning on the mind control strips. He's just, the Shield of Valor just can't hit this guy. He's too nuts. Yeah, unfortunately, Hecarim putting the legendary and iconic move speed to work, but unfortunately only for running away from enemy champions. You really like to be using that move speed to run towards enemy champions as Hecarim, but yeah, I just not sure if Hecarim kills anybody in this game state. Everyone is just so strong and so tanky and deals so much damage. Oh, here we go, Songo.
Flash in, and he's going to get rooted, but the ultimate is going to come in just a moment. A bunch of damage as everyone's dropping a good CC layering. 2 shutdowns picked up, and Tien's going to give over his life in just a moment. So 3 kills picked up, and this is 19:20 on the clock, so Baron could be an objective if they manage to maintain control, but a bunch of gold just delivered over to STC as they find an immaculate engage.
Shield of Valor, no, this is not it.
Oh my god, is defeating continuing. That's going to be Shielded Valor. He's taunting back in. The tower is still being tanked, and Shielded Valor is going to pick up a kill.
Maybe this is it.
Riri going on the back line, picking up everything as he is going to have a double kill, and Gohan's going to be forced to walk out. But this is a big Valo Bear, and there is the root. Gohan is going to be dropping, so a triple kill found by Riri.
Oh no.
And just when things look up, it goes right back down.
Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? Terracotta, they find possibly the only losing line, taking a 3v5 in mid lane. They give all these shutdowns over, but they get away with war crimes. And Ori just walks back in, fights them to the death with his Divine Sunder, and it's just going to be Baron for Terracotta.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we know Mr. Sungo is a good sport, it's okay that we can make a little bit of jokes at his expense. And it looks like he got PayPal'd on that last play. So we're going to find out exactly how much money he made on that transition at the end of this game. Man, we need a loser's interview this one if they do not manage to pick up this win. But STC is struggling. They do need to find more engages like the last one with the gold land onto the people who need it most, this Hecarim and this Jinx. So damage could be coming through as Gohan's going to find himself in the death chamber, and a double kill is already picked up. So unfortunate, Wolf died off screen, but Jesus, now you have Baron in a 3v5.
Yeah, I mean, Kale's not, I mean, just gotta point out, Kale's not even level 16 yet. This is a level 14 Kale, and just, the pain does not stop. It's relentless. Lord Dom's completed for Iron Tower.
And that's going to be Sungo forced to ult himself. Now the tower is doing as much work as it can, but the tower is going to drop, so now you're going to be forced to walk away. Lightning Soul is taking the autos and is forced to flash out. That is unfortunate as it continues to be the transition. Look at the damage Iron Tower is even putting onto this tank, as the first inhib is going to drop at 21 minutes, and now the transition top is already going to be prepped, as Shielded Valor was already on that wave, getting the push in, and the knockup is going to land, but not going to do enough.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the beginning of the end here. Terracotta looking to close this one out. They're breaking the towers. I think they finally learned their lesson from the last overextension. They're actually just going to reset here, play it really safe, spend all their gold to regroup, and then I think they'll finally crack open all 3 inhibitors and close this one out. I suppose Dragon Soul... Oh, they're resetting for Dragon. They're really playing this one safe. I'm pretty sure they had a game-winning push up there, but they're like, nah, we got this. When you're ahead, you get more ahead. Let's collect the Dragon Soul, make this one a clean macro game. You know,
Yeah,
here we go.
absolutely. And we gotta give credit. Kale is maintaining almost 10 CS per minute, highest farm in the game, most likely second highest gold, 2 items already completed. So very well done on TN's part. Getting a little bit of the unsung hero credits for the game. I will give him his points, even though that you can tell the biggest diffy is in the top lane with a 3-0 and 12 Shen. But yeah, he's doing his best as much as he can, as this is going to be the Cloud Soul, which is really big for these champions. Kale really gets a lot of benefit from Moose Spear, as Gooby is going to be in trouble. Hook landed, Antunes is going to find him, as now the ultimate onto Wolf is there, the knockup is there, and Shielded Valor getting caught out in the mid lane. He's going to be forced to run away, but that's going to be the ultimate from Oriri, getting the chase down. The Hook is not going to let do anything, as Sign is going to be unstoppable in that ultimate, as all of them are just tickling Shen on his back. This is still a soft massage, nice leisure, not taking any damage, still not half HP yet, continuing to hit him, but doing more damage to themselves than they're doing to him, as now everyone's dying. Sungo is going to be taking, Lightning Soul is going to be the first one to drop. Sungo is going to be forced to eat away, but he is not going to make it. The W is going to be dodged, but Ariri is going to grab it with the auto attack, as now the chase is still on, with the Baron still in the pocket. So this is probably going to be the closing push of the game. Let's see if STC is going to manage to defend it. The minion wave is dead, so they do have a little bit of reprieve, but the next one is in with the inhibitor minions coming. Antunes is not going to land the hook. Gohan trying to get as much autos as he can, forced to flash out from the Jin W. The minions are dying a little bit too fast, so this will not be the game minion opinions push just yet.
They're really playing this one safe. I'm pretty sure they can just tank that.
Oh yeah, they absolutely could. They choose to do it this way so they can get some more kills on the board. There's going to be the ultimate coming in. TN's on the back line. Gohan taking a bunch of damage, and he is going to drop just now. That's the only bit of damage left, as everybody's finding themselves in the death chamber, with 2 more kills picked up for Shielded Valor, as they are taking this in here just for shits and giggles, because they could just push mid and end the game, but this is more fun, as they're trying to get as many objectives as you can. Sungo being the last man standing, he's going to get hooked up, he's going to get knocked up, he's taking too much, and he is out of here, as another kill is being picked up, and an ace is there, as Terracotta Gaming is going to get their 6th win of the league, taking out STC.
Yeah, unfortunately, Gohan turning into no more than a tasty snack, a little morsel at the end, and Terracotta living up to their namesake. They cannot die because they have already been sent to the afterlife to defend the Emperor. And I mean, yeah, Iron Tower sitting on his throne. Let's check out the damage. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Shen out damaging Jinx. Just
yeah, Shen putting out a massive amount of damage. I mean, you do get a bunch of damage inflation from hitting that Scion in the top lane, but either or, very well played game by Shielded Valor and Iron Tower, easily the highest performing players to this game. And I'm wondering who we're going to vote for MVP, actually, because this is going to be quite a close race.
Yeah, I think Terracotta, really everyone pulled their weight, everyone knew their job, and it was pretty much just resounding wins all over the map. I guess one thing that I do want to call out that was just really unfortunate for STC. I mean, honestly, props to them for playing and joining. Like, it was really unfortunate to see another 7-team league. I know Mythic was really unfortunate, so we just lost so many matches and so much content. So I really appreciate them showing up. They haven't really gotten to player practice at all. This is a brand new team in the middle of the season. So I think they have a lot of room to grow and a lot of potential. Definitely seeing kind of some nerves. The early pick on Leona at level 1 was really unfortunate, but I don't think it needed to be as bad as it was. Unfortunately, the level 2 allows Antunes to really compound on that advantage, and unfortunately, Lightning Soul just didn't have an opportunity to climb back into the game. Iron Tower and Antunes just relentless in the bottom lane, but if that doesn't happen, I honestly feel like it's a different game, because STC has a really good draft. They have a lot of tools. They have a lot of engage. They should be stronger early, and it just doesn't quite pan out for them this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for STC, the miracle run has to start somewhere. But for Terracotta Gaming, we will be hearing from one of the victorious members of Terracotta in just a moment. Don't touch that browser because we'll be right back.
I'ma have to bust it. I'ma have to bust it. Bust it. I'ma have to 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 bust it.
Hello folks, Chris Edgeworth here with our third interview tonight. I'm joined by Terracotta Gaming's Oriri out of the jungle this game. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good with the win. Yeah.
That was absolutely a decisive victory for you folks. It was shaping up already to be spicy from the get-go in the draft. You guys pulled out the Kale on blue 1, and then they answered with red 1-2 Jinx Leona. I think that's both two statements from two teams. You got one thing that you wanted, they got two things that they wanted. From right there, we knew that the gauntlet was being thrown down. This is a new team you were up against, SEAL Team Chris. How were you feeling about this draft as it was going on, what you guys were able to get and what you were up against?
We kind of did not know what SEAL Team Chris wanted. Like, we knew they wanted to scale with Leona, not Leona Jinx. And we kind of called that with the Kale before they even did it. And so we just had our insurance policy with the Kale, pretty much, and just let her side lane all game. That was pretty much the plan with the Kale.
So you guys said the plan was the Kale. They said our plan is the Jinx, and you guys were just like, "All right, we'll see you at the end then."
Yeah,
it's pretty straight.
We weren't expecting it to get so out of hand so early. We were expecting relatively slow gameplay, but the Nautilus hooks were rather questionable on whether or not they should have hit. But Antunes probably knows more about that champion than I do.
It's just a riot gap, you know, just Nautilus.
yeah.
Nautilus is just so balanced. He is just such an exceptionally coherent hitbox for his skill shots too. It's just really fun when you're on the enemy team. And this is coming from someone who plays a fair bit of Nautilus myself, because it's just, especially when you are in the a bot lane when it's so volatile, where the Jinx Leona, if they fall behind, it's like it gets real rough for a while there for them. So. Let's talk about this early pressure, because that is really where things really started to get off on their own. I mean, no pressure from you yet, and they were just able to get the pressure on the wave. They get the level 2 and take the early pressure they were able to get on the Leona and convert that into kills. So you're able to transition your lead then around the map. You didn't have to worry about bot lane. How did you feel you were able to execute in the early game?
Our early game strat was I wanted to full clear, recall, get bot crab, because I figured he would be pathing towards the top side to get top crab. I didn't want to really contest it, even like ganking Sion's not necessarily the best. So I was trying to focus on around bot side, but he already took bot crab, so I took top crab, and the Sion, which is in a prime opportunity to get a kill, and then he TP'd, and we got his flash from that too for the repeat gank.
All right, well, oh, you have more to say?
Oh, no.
I was just gonna say, I mean, after that, it seemed like it was more or less your folks' game to lose. You had no slippery fingers on this one. You had a full grip on it. You guys were having a little bit of fun there for sure at the end. Not gonna lie. I was kind of wondering if you guys were trying to hold out for Kale to hit 16, because I noticed that Tien did not get 16. He was 15 and probably like 11/12 of the way there. Like, he was so close. But you know, you folks really were able to take your early game, and this is something that's big in this lead, and you know, just try not to literally throw it when you're so absurdly ahead. It's actually unfortunate how often it becomes a close game or a loss when it like really does not need to sometimes in this league. So and I want to transition from there and just ask, you know, this was a very decisive victory for you folks, and now there's a whole host of you at 5-2, and you're also going to see Rex coming up in the next game, who's 5-1, who, if they lose, would be 5-2, but if they win, they're going to be ahead of the pack on that one. How are you feeling about your strength against these 5-2 teams?
We already took one from RLS. No disrespect to RLS. I think we're just a relatively better team fighting team, to be honest. I think they're to better than us in the laning phase, but I think we're obviously getting better. I still think they may have a slight edge against us on the laning phase for RLS. So it should be a good game. If they get ahead, it'll be relatively rough, like the last time where we just got one good team fight off and it kind of got out of hand from there. For Int kind of dominated us when we played them the first time, and I don't want that to happen again. And I think they're a really good team where if they get an advantage, they kind of run with it. Just don't let them get ahead, and I feel like they're not nearly as strong as they are when they're weaker when they are even. If they're ahead, they can just get out of hand. And then for Rex, I personally think Rex is is the best team in the league, mostly due to their macro and their relatively safe laners. They play a very slow, very methodical game, and they will probably be. I think we just have to figure out like our macro decisions when we want to face them before the game starts.
Rex is certainly the team to watch. I completely agree. They have been showing to be more or less a cut above in all regards in being able to play around the map. So I agree entirely with your point there. Now, Ariri, we are going to be stepping away to take a short break and get to see a game of Rex and see how the Rex Regalis is able to play this match. But before we step away, Ariri, any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us on the desk? Any shout-outs, any banter?
Draft cap. That's all.
It's been thrown down, folks. All right. Well, congratulations, Terracotta Gaming. Thanks again to Oriri here. And, folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with our final match of the night. We're going to be bringing you our matchup for Rex Regalis versus, I am blanking for a moment, Coin Flip Gaming. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.
Oh, we